everyone. Welcome to today's episode where we have a very special guest with us today. We have Miss Tanya Jones of the Superintendent of Tahlequah Schools. Is that Tahlequah Schools or how do you?
Tahlequah Public Schools.
Tahlequah Public Schools. There we go. I didn't go to Tahlequah, so I don't get that right all the time. Tanya, I'm not even sure where to start here, but I'm gonna try to jump in. So Tanya was People's Time Magazine Person of the Year. Might as well have been Tahlequah's Time Member Person of the Year, Grand Marshal for the Christmas Parade, which, folks, that's a big deal in our market, so I don't know if you know that that's a really big deal. You've been Volunteer of the Year, you've been Teacher of the Year, you've been Administrator of the Year. You just are everything in our market. We are just so proud of everything you've done for the community. When did this start?
Oh, well, I think the fun public accolades started in the last year or two, and it's been overwhelming. But have been an educator in this area for 29 years.
See,
29 years.
Now and Jill just did the same thing I did, because when I was kind of putting things together, I was like, were you 12 when you started?
I mean, I started right when I graduated a little early from college, but not much.
Okay.
But it's the only job I've ever done. You know, I went straight from Tahlequah High School to NSU, and then right back into Keys Elementary as a teacher, which is where I went to elementary.
Yes.
So then back to Tahlequah, where I went to high school. It's kind of been a circle. People always asked, are you going to go back to NSU one day? I don't have any inclination to be a college professor or admin. Yeah, it's all been right here. I mean,
but maybe never say never, right?
Well, never say never, yes.
Well, and I think that that's the thing that I absolutely love is you were literally homegrown, you know? So started as a student in Keys and then taught at Keys. Your children went to Keys and then Tahlequah Public Schools. Now you've taught at both. You've kind of gone back and forth. I can't get over 29 years. That is a huge, huge commitment. So
it is good. A few more to go till retirement age, but I think that's what I love about this job the most is that, well, number one, it was a life goal from a child. I mean, I would have told you I wanted to be the boss of this school when I was a little girl. I mean, I knew I wanted to be a teacher. Then I wanted to be the boss of the school. Didn't really know what that meant at that point, but I knew there was a leader that took care of us, and have absolutely been able to just follow that dream path. So this is a dream job. It literally is a dream job. The one I wanted more than anything in the world. So it's personal. Like you said, my husband graduated from Tahlequah. I graduated from Tahlequah. My boys graduated from Tahlequah.
Yeah.
I've lived here in Cherokee County since I was 6. And I cannot imagine living anyplace else.
Oh, I love that. And not only had you committed your career path to education, but your husband is also... Yes. And so currently, what is his position?
He is the varsity basketball coach at Tahlequah High School.
Okay.
And is a health teacher also at the high school. Had stepped down from varsity coaching.
I was going to say head coach, but I don't know what the right terms are.
Head coach, yes.
Head coach, okay.
Head coach. As you know, our youngest son is an NSU basketball player, and so when he graduated, yes, go Riverhawks. When he graduated to go play college ball, he stepped down from varsity coaching so we could follow him a little bit easier. Yeah,
I do have on here Riverhawks Cheerleader of the Year. So she qualified for that too. She's at all the games.
That time in life goes way too fast as a parent. He's got another year of eligibility, and if we can drive there and we can be there, we are there. I mean, that's just always been very important to be supportive of our boys, Brody as well. If there's something at the fire station in Muskogee, we're there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think what's so amazing is that I haven't known you other than through real estate, but then I got the opportunity to get to know you when my granddaughter went to school Cherokee Elementary, and we had some hiccups and things just because of life, and it was always so comforting to know that you were right there. Do you know what I mean? And that was amazing. And then I was super fortunate that your husband was a coach to my son, and away trips and games and all of that. And so I really have always known that there is such a commitment there for the children. And I do say children because whether they're high school or college, they're still our kids, So I absolutely adore that. So the commitment to the children, where does that come from? Like, I know you said you always knew you wanted to be the boss of the school, but that's a little different than leaning into the community and the kids like you have.
I think growing up at Keys and having some wonderful teachers really led me in that direction. I hesitate to say any name because I know I'm going to lose.
Right, you'd want to name them all. Right. But if I said you have to give me the top two.
Miss Bearpaw, Louise Bearpaw, was one that just touched my heart. She believed in me.
We all have that teacher.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, she's one that just comes right to mind. Doris Halpayne, Sandra Addington, Miss Marsh, but it's not Miss Marsh anymore. There are so many of those women that Nita Hayes that lived near me in Keys. So many of those women that just modeled love. They structure, and they had high expectations for you, but they did it with caring. And school was a place that was always safe and met all the needs that a person needed.
Yeah.
And a lot of times in my life as a young child, I needed it.
Sure.
And so it became, like the haven for goodness. And they just saw good things in you. They built me up and they expected me to go do good things in life. And because they had that expectation, I met that expectation.
Yeah.
I really think, people live up to what you think that they're capable of. And they helped me to really believe that I was capable of that. So I think, school's important for that, not only to myself, but seeing other people that I truly believe that's the way that, and education is the way that our children can get out of any circumstance they're in right now.
Yeah.
And so that's important.
Yeah, it's not who you are, it's something that happened to you. And with education, you can move forward. I want to shout out to Miss Ringo and Miss Selbin, because my situation was the same. That when you said structure and safety, and they just always acted like I was so smart. I was like, well, now I have to be. And now this makes complete sense, because you've always had that inner just shining star. When you look at kids, it just has always just, touched me the way you respond to children. And now I understand that. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Important. That's why we do what we do. I love every aspect of my job, but every decision is made with kids in mind.
Yeah.
I love the 500 plus employees that work for us, and I want to take the very best care of them that we can every day. But they all know we make every decision with kids in mind first.
But can I say, because I follow you on social media, obviously, but it looks like y'all have fun too.
We do have fun.
I mean, sometimes I'm like, they are having a good, and I think because you're having fun, and that shows, and people want to be there to help the children. It's not a have-to situation.
Right. Well, that's important. That culture piece is important for employees and for our families as well. Yeah. We need kids to want to be at school. We want the families to want their children to be at school.
Yes.
They've got to trust us. But there's got to be an element of lightheartedness to it and a good time to it, because we all spend, I know I spend definitely more waking hours at work than I do at home. But, those teachers, they put so much effort and time and so much of their heart into that, that we have to fill their bucket, so to speak, so that they can fill others. We have many, we live in an impoverished area in many aspects, and about 70% of our students are economically disadvantaged. We, on a regular basis, send home about 225 backpacks of food every weekend, so kids have food on the weekend. We are very well aware of the circumstances that some of them live in. And when we are not in school, I'm not sure that they have something to eat and that they have a warm place to stay.
Yeah, oh, that's true too. Even the warmth of it. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the backpack program.
It is probably one of the things that are nearest and dearest, that whole community outreach center that we have. It is completely funded by donations. Okay. We have some reoccurring donations, but most of them are sporadic, but our community is very supportive, and so we've been able to continue this for many years. We have care teams in each of our buildings, and basically that's a group of decision makers in the buildings that anyone can refer children to for any need. Okay. But sometimes it is because there's a lack of food, or just basic needs even along that line. Then what we can do is talk to the family and just get permission to start sending items home with their students. So it has to, because we do work with the Oklahoma Food Bank, I think that's the name of the food bank, it does have to meet some nutritional requirements. So there's going to be a meat, or there's going to be a fruit, or there's going to be a milk. So there's not really a backpack, but there is a sack of food that goes home every Thursday or Friday with students, so that they have adequate nutrition for the weekend. Things that they could make on their own, so they don't have to have someone that can help them cook. It's something they can do with a pop top, or like even the milk is something that doesn't have to be refrigerated.
So in the 80s, that was just known as latchkey kids, which is how I was raised. What is the term now, or is there one?
I heard latchkey just recently. That's funny. But
oh, really?
But that is not. I don't know that there is a term specifically that we would use for students, because a lot of those students stay with us in our after-school program.
Oh, okay,
so we're very fortunate to have
wonderful
programs in all of our at all of our sites. But the community outreach center that we have created at Tahlequah does the backpack program. We also have food pantries. We have a food pantry at the high school. We have a food pantry at our outreach center, where families could come and get things where they could make meals. Okay. A high school student can go into and get boxes of macaroni and cheese and vegetables and things like that, away from their peers, and they tend to not participate in the backpack program as much as younger students. Sure. There's a stigma to that, maybe, that they're a little worried about, but they can go in there privately and basically shop for those needs. Yeah. But we also, we gather clothing. We have a little bit of everything. Yeah, socks, gloves. Yes. Things that some of us take for granted are not readily available, and you guys do cover that. And so if somebody wanted to donate to that, what is the best way to make sure it goes to that particular program? Well, we are working on an online donation system as we speak, so that's going to be so much more helpful for people. Okay. But what they could do at this point is just go to the Board of Education. When they donate to Tahlequah Public Schools, that's what they would be made out to. But on the subject line, they would just put Tiger's Roar, or they would put the backpack program, a specific activity account, and it goes directly in there for that use. Perfect. Tiger's Roar that I mentioned, backpack is just for food, and Tiger's Roar is for other things that they might need. We might have a family that loses their whole home in a fire. We might have a child that's an unaccompanied youth and does not have a guardian or an adult that needs to get their driver's license or get a copy of their birth certificate. Things like that cost money. Right. Someone that might need eyeglasses and has not had any success in getting enrolled in something where they can get them for free. There are a lot of other needs like that we work with for kids, high school kids that couch surf, they're homeless and have no form of transportation, but we can get them a bike and they can get to a job and they can get to school. Yeah. Little things like that. Again, the structure, the safety, the warmth, the food, there's so much involved that we don't even realize. So, yeah. So from a community standpoint, thank you so much, because it's just amazing. So when you are not
you know, when you don't have your cape on and your Wonder Woman outfit here, and you're not at a Riverhawks game, what do you do? What is your chill out time?
Goodness, when you take basketball and my job,
there is no time, huh?
Is there? Really just enjoy spending time with family. I've, in the last couple of years specifically, have really slowed down to just my immediate family, with 2 grown children and a daughter-in-law, and being with them is most important.
Yeah.
You know, we like watching movies or playing games. You know, we like dominoes or card games or things like that. Really, that's about all we do outside of basketball and work. If you follow me on social media, you see, like, Dwayne and I like to take many adventures.
I've noticed a couple of those lately. Yeah.
Kids that are basically out of the house at this point. We have been able to date again, so we just go on little mini adventures and find nice places that we can drive to on any given day or an overnight trip, and just try to unplug and just go see some cool stuff that we wouldn't normally see.
Well, that is amazing. Well, again, I think I speak for all of Tahlequah when we say you really have made an impact on the community, on the school system. I know, you know, your husband and you with my grandchildren and my children. And, you know, we're just so thankful that you're a part of the community and then all you've done. Now, because you've accomplished so much in this past 2 years, what's next?
Well, I hope to do this job until I retire, which has to be another 6 years, but I hope to last longer than that. It's a hard job. Sometimes I wonder, can I keep this up for 10 years straight at the pace that I like to do it?
Right.
That's probably the thing.
Because did we mention she's a go-getter?
Trouble slowing down. Really, I mean, I want to finish my career here. I've got many things that I want to accomplish in this school district, but I don't want to be I'm not looking to move from this job or go to a larger school district or do anything else. I want to be here, retire as the Tahlequah Public Schools Superintendent years from now, and just really give into this community. I want to leave Tahlequah better than I found it. So really we're spending a lot of time on what do we want this to look like 10 years from now. That way we can start systematically working back and making sure we're taking those steps to get there.
I love it. I love it. And we're all about goal setting around here. You guys, if you watch any of the podcasts, that is one of the most positive ways to approach it is where do you want to end up? And as I mentioned, she just does not take no as an answer from the universe. So I suspect you're going to be very, very successful.
I've got some big asks, so we'll see.
Okay, now we always like this question we did not pre-send you, so this one's going to be a big one. We always like to ask a controversial question of the month, and this month the question is, do you always make your bed?
Every day.
Every day. I knew the answer to that.
But I got to shout out to Dwayne Jones because usually Dwayne Jones makes
okay, the bed gets made.
I get up first and then he gets up and then so he makes the bed after me, except when he's driving a bus because he still drives a bus route every day, except during basketball season. And so usually it is him.
Okay.
And after 26 years of marriage, he gets the pillows right now.
Oh, finally.
Because that's important.
It is.
Have to be right.
Yes.
Surprise you about
Yeah, that does not surprise me. So either you make the bed or you delegate it. Either way, you get credit for it every day. So yeah, there you go. I think we all knew the answer of where that was going. So, well, again, I don't know how you had time to come in today because I know you've got so many things happening, but we really do appreciate you coming in and sitting down and talking. We're going to put Tahlequah Roar and the backpack program information, a link below or anything we can find. And when you do get the system set up, reach out, let us know, and we'll help share it because we think that's amazing. And just thank you so much for all you do for the community.
Well, thank you for all you do for the community.
Hey, it is our town, right?
It is. It is. Fence and all.
There you go. Absolutely. Yeah, we had not mentioned that on air. We're actually we're neighbors, back to back.
Yes.
Yeah, back to back. And we never see each other because
we're always working.
That's exactly what we said. We have to go out in public to see each other because we're never home to see each other. But guys, please like, follow, and share so that other people can be aware of the programs that Tahlequah has to offer and that they can also get to know Tahlequah's Woman of the Year. I'm going to start that. That's going to be a thing. Absolutely. And then if there is a person that you would like to see on the next episode, please reach out, or a topic that you would like to make us aware of. We'd be happy to consider discovering that information with you. Thanks for watching, everyone.